Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnana Timirandhasya, Jnana Janashalakaya, Chakshurun Militam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tumeva Mada Cha Pita Tumeva, Tumeva Bandhuscha Sakha Tumeva. Tumeva vidya dravinam tumeva sarvam amriteshwari ma. Tumeva sarvam amriteshwari ma. Tumeva sarvam amriteshwari ma. Om Amriteshwari Nama. We'll now begin with a short meditation. Kindly sit straight and make sure your vertebral column, spinal column is right. Slowly close your eyes. Bring your awareness on your breathing. Breathing normally and fully aware of each and every inhalation and exhalation that occurs through the body. As you become more and more aware of your breaths, relaxation naturally occurs, and feel the relaxation. Now we'll chant Om 3 times. And as we chant Om, imagine the sound of Om to arise from your navel area. Visualize the sound traveling upwards along your spine, cleansing your body and mind. And as it goes out, imagine cleansing the atmosphere also around you. Now kindly take a deep breath. Feel the reverberations of Om in each and every particle of your body. Once again, turning inwards. Try to focus on your breathing. Now, as you breathe in, along with your inhalation, chant the mantra, the syllable Ma silently, along with your in breath, and Om, and you breathe out. Ma is a representation of divine love, Om of divine light. You need not visualize love and light. Just feel your heart being filled with love and light slowly and slowly. Ma and Om becomes more and more subtle. Instead of the sound vibrations, feel the physical sound, feel the vibrations of Ma and Om. Imagine your heart being filled with that divine love and light, and it expands just like a bud that blooms into a beautiful and fragrant flower, filling you with bliss, with peace, with contentment, and with compassion. Feel your heart expanding to accommodate every being in this universe, feeling the joy. I visualize a ray of light going out from your heart to all the beings in this world, just like the rays of the sun. And as the light falls on each and every being, imagine they also become more loving, more peaceful, more blissful, and more compassionate. And while imagining so, we'll chant the Loka Samasta prayer 9 times. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Dhyayamo Dhavla Bhagunthanapatim Tejomayim Naishtikim Snigdha Pangavilokinim Bhagavadim Mandasmita Shrimukhim Valsalyamritavarshinim Sumadhuram Sankirtanalapinim Shamangim Madhusikta Suktim Amritanandatmikam Ishwarim Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parambaram Sruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Logashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhadarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavandau Punah Punaha Ishwarau Guru Rakmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Amriteshwaryaye Namaha. In the last session, we saw that the general disciplines of spirituality, the different parts, which is known as the yogas or the paths, which is the Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga. And according to Bhagavata, all these different yogas or paths are nothing but a part of Bhakti Yoga, the discipline of Bhakti. Why, you may ask? Because the Lord has declared that He can be grasped only through Bhakti. And by itself, all these good qualities like morality, pursuit of truth, charity, etc., cannot purify, of course, can purify the soul, but if it is devoid of bhakti, then it's like, the gold is just trying to be purified without putting in the fire. And the moment bhakti comes, that's when the fire comes and the gold is made, molted, and made pure. So, but it does recognize the distinctiveness of all the three yogas. There is jnana, karma, and bhakti. And also it talks about the Raja Yoga. And we see that Jnana Yoga is prescribed to those who are moved by desires. Karma Yoga is applicable to those who, through listening by chance to the recitals of the excellences of the Lord, feel strongly drawn to Him but are only partially fit for renunciation. And Bhakti Yoga is recommended for everybody. And by this, Bhagavata is not, should understand, it's not downgrading bhakti. And because it considers the highest purushartha, that is our duty, is to achieve this bhakti, and which cannot be attained by an ordinary jiva, or which cannot, which is also, as we said, that even when a seeker after mukti goes through Jnana Yoga, that is after liberation goes through Jnana Yoga, even then, in the height of that realization, he has the to achieve that kind of a bhakti, that is the height of jnana, we can say. And we said that also they were saying that true jnana yoga is only bhakti yoga with a higher degree of intellectual and less of sentimental. element in it. And you can say that was saying like an intellectual love for God is what is, or absorption in him or her. And the jnani looks upon the Lord as his own higher self and seeks communion with him through the I sense, that is either denying I or just understanding or expanding the I, as Amma says, either these two paths. One is I am not, neti, neti. Or you can say I am everything. I am this, I am that, I am the whole universe. So that is the whole idea of jnana. And the spirit of detachment and renunciation required for the discipline is very high. And even at the start, at the beginning, because you cannot be a jnana yogi because if you are attached or if you do not have that kind of a discipline. But bhakti yoga, or the practice of bhakti, devotion, can be started by one with less endowments or less qualification in this respect. And while the jnana yogi, or the person who pursues the path of jnana yoga, aspirant has only got to rely on his strength. Bhakta, or the devotee, is always has got the backing of Bhagavan, Ishvara, or Lord. So he understands that right from the beginning, that God is along with him because he has a personal relationship. And he sees Lord as his own friend, his mother, his friend, or his teacher, or like his son or daughter. In whichever way he sees that the closeness to the Lord is there. So he believes that closeness will help him to move on the path. And Lord, we saw that Lord Krishna said that a genuine devotee of mine, who even if he happens to be temporarily subjugated by sense objects, is never lost. So he's backed by the power of his devotion to me. So I'm thinking, I feel that Lord Krishna is talking to Krishna. That, whatever may happen in life, you cannot but go away. Because if you have devotion to the Lord, you will never get lost. And according to the Bhagavata, devotional discipline, which generates both dispassion for worldly objects and knowledge of God, is a natural and simultaneous process of spiritual evolution. And it is compared like to the ball of rice which is eaten, producing simultaneous satisfaction of hunger, and also it gives strength to the body, and also gives the pleasure of enjoying a ball of rice. It's like a sweet rice, let us just say, not just plain rice. But as far as Raja Yoga and Karma Yoga are concerned, they only serve the purpose of the disciplines of Bhakti Yoga. And Raja Yoga consists in systematic practice of inward concentration, and which helps to deepen the devotional sentiments and help us to continue to fix our mind on God. And regarding Karma Yoga, the Bhagavata is said to be an important aid to the Bhakti discipline in the early stages, because the different Vedic karmas prescribed, this one is it helps us to fulfill our duties and helps us to discharge our duties as a member of the society as well as a member of our family. But both these kinds of actions or karmas are technically, we can say that these are dharma. And so the Bhagavata considers that these activities are to deserve the sacred name of dharma, and they must be conducive to generate devotion in a person. And if they are not so motivated, it's just vain and meaningless, because as you know that in the Vedas they prescribe so many duties, or you can say they give you so many mantras. Suppose you don't have a child, you can do this puja, that puja, and if you want rain, you do this puja, that puja, and if you want rain, you do this puja, that puja, and if you want money, do this. But all these things is meaningless unless and until it evokes bhakti or devotion. And as I say, it is only to one sense, when you do these karmas or these actions, it is an indirect mean to attract the sense-bound and the people who behave childishly to a life of faith and discipline. Just like it says the example of when you feed, when you want a child to take a medicine, first you promise the child that I'll give you this sweet, that sweet, if you take the medicine, and I'll give you a chocolate, then the child will immediately, okay, then for the chocolate, it will take the medicine. So the ultimate purpose is to teach that these Vedic karmas are worldly duties with a sense of detachment and dedication to God. So when performed, such karmas, which is also known as dharma, becomes karma yoga, or communion through dedicated action. And now, which is also an integral part of the bhakti discipline. So now we are talking about the stages of Shraddha, Rati, and Bhakti in Bhagavata Dharma. And in the generation and the growth of devotion, the Bhagavata mentions 3 stages as follows. By living in intimate contact with holy men and hearing their discourses on the Lord's excellences, man develops progressively faith, which is Shraddha, the first one. An attachment to God, not to the sense objects, to God, which is known as Rati, and loving devotion to Him, which is Bhakti. So first is Shraddha, there is faith. Second is attachment to God or to more spiritual disciplines, that is Rati. And the third is Bhakti, that is love for the God. And loving devotion is what was described earlier as Sadhya Bhakti, which is mature and well-established devotion. The other 2 stages of development and the devotional disciplines are to be described later. And but one of the things, as we know, is quite a vast number of people profess to have faith in God. But it's mainly formal or conventional acceptance of Him, or which is commercial also, business-like, which is which fails to move them powerfully from within to aspire and work for knowledge and love of God. Amma says the example, right? Usually what happens is for the temple worshippers, why do they go to the temples? They are asking God, oh God, I will give you payasam, sweet pudding, or I'll give you so much money, so just let me get this promotion, or let me pass in this exam, or let me, marry this girl or boy. So all these things are like begging to God for some kind of a favor. And God and spiritual life become real matters for which man feels it's worthwhile to stake his all only when he moves closely with others whose life and conduct have the stamp of the powerful godly love and spiritual experience. So that's why Bhagavata holds that association with holy men. And listening to their talk on the Lord and His excellences form one single factor that lights the flame of genuine faith, which is Shraddha, in the hearts of men. So, faith or Shraddha, the first stage of true devotion, is a state of mind in which the spiritual value is accepted as more fundamental than any other, and man shows readiness to sacrifice and strive for it. This very important part, that holy company, that is, which is known as sadhu sangha or satsanga, plays in generating faith, is what is stressed throughout Bhagavata. In my own case, I would say, I've said this story before, knowledge or just the aspect of practice or understanding spirituality did not bring me to the spiritual path. I've told this story also, one time I was coming back from college. At that time I used to smoke cigarettes, and I was passing through a big auditorium where there was, I saw the sign saying that Bhagavad Gita commentary by such and such person, a great person. So I thought, oh my God, let's do one thing. Let me listen to it for a while and see what it is. I was just curious. And I had a cigarette in my hand and smoking, and as I was entering, the guy in the entrance said, "You cannot go in because you're smoking, and throw away your cigarette." And I said, "No, I don't want to throw away my cigarette. Rather, I would not listen to the commentary and the speech." And I just walked away. But when I met Amma, Amma used to say that, earlier when disciples came to Amma, Amma, they did not show enough respect to Amma at that time, like they did not behave to Amma like they should to a guru. And Amma said that, olden times, what happened, now the so-called the Swamis, who were brahmacharis, sometimes in Kerala, we wear the dhoti. And as a respect, to show respect, what you do is you don't tie, the dhoti just like you do like the small, the half pants or the trousers, right? What is that? What do you call that? So you don't tie it up. But ordinarily when you work and do something, you do tie it up because it's airy, and it's just a hindrance for us to do some work or walk. So you tie it up, and that is just a common occurrence in Kerala. But when somebody comes and who deserves respect, you pull it down and show that kind of respect. And Amma said in those days the Swamis did not show that kind of, they used to tie the dhoti up and stand in front of Amma. And some even, some of the, not the Swamis, but some of the other devotees who were householders at that time, they even smoked in front of Amma. They used to smoke. And Amma did not say anything. And what happened was slowly and slowly, that's the beauty about it. Amma did not force anything on anyone. Slowly they changed. They understood, and they stopped smoking, or they started showing more respect to Amma out of love. It's not out of compulsion. So what it is saying is this holy company. That is very important. Why? To have that faith, Shraddha, that faith, faith and love goes hand in hand. So for every aspect, that's why they're saying, bhakti, devotion or love is important. So for men of faith who want to develop the second and third stages of devotion, namely attachment, that is rati, and loving devotion for God, the Bhagavata prescribes a course of discipline called Bhagavata Dharma, that is Bhagavata, duty of Bhagavata, which it claims is applicable to all men of right intentions. And it is claimed to be much more easy and practicable than the disciplines prescribed in the Vedas and Yoga Shastras. So for aspirants who are not learned in the Vedas and other scriptures, the Lord has given the Bhagavata Dharma, which is the path of devotion, as an easy way to attain Him. That's what Bhagavata says. You need not study all this other, the Vedas and the scriptures, the Upanishads and all these things. But if you follow the path of devotion, it is also an easy path for attaining to the Lord. And a person following this path never sustains a spiritual fall. That is the other beauty about it. And he's saying that when you are on this path, for the other people, they can lose their faith and go away from the path. But a person who has the Bhagavata Dharma, which is the path of devotion, never has a spiritual fall. And even if he runs along this path with his eyes closed, his feet do not slip and he does not topple down. Whatever a devotee does with mind, body and senses, intellect or spirit, not necessarily scripture or ordained duties, but all activities natural to him, let him consecrate all that to Narayana, or the Lord, by making them an offering unto Him. That's what Bhagavata says. So it's very simple. Just make each and every action as an offering to the Lord. And so again, coming back to the example of the gopis, that's what they did. And they made an offering to whatever they did to Lord Krishna. And now we talk about the 9 specific bhakti discipline. So supplementing the above statement, which is that what Bhagavata says, that a devotee never slips out of the path. And so the more direct devotional disciplines are enumerated here. And here, the first one is hearing narratives of the glorious actions and the excellences of Vishnu. Okay, here you have to substitute Vishnu for God or for any other deity. It's just Vishnu is only a representation of the Supreme Lord. So it is chanting his or her name. So you can call it anything. So Sravana, that is listening, chanting his name and reciting hymns in praise of him. That is Kirtana. That is the other one. And remembering him continuously, Smarana. And serving him, which is Pada Seva. And worshipping him, which is Archana. And paying obeisance or prostrating to him, which is Vandana. And practicing servitude to him, which is Dasya. And befriending him, Sakhya. And making total self-surrender to him, which is Atma Nivedanam. So these are the 9 aspects of devotion to Vishnu or to God to be practiced by men who have received proper instruction from a teacher. So the essence of devotional disciplines is given in the above cited verse. So these 9 disciplines mentioned are specific devotional practices, and the one cited earlier, namely, which is the discharge of duties as worship of God, is a general discipline. And the importance of which in devotional life at all stages deserve to be specifically or specially stressed. And it has necessarily to be practiced along with the 9 disciplines, because without the refinement got through it, the latter cannot be effective. So the practice of devotional disciplines will bear fruits to the extent that man's mind is pure and is absolutely sincere in his practice. So, because why? It is easy for a man to to make a show of devotion, by chanting, attending discourses, and devotional recitals, worshipping, serving holy images, etc. And what happens is, we see that, that kind of people all the time around us. They have this outward show and a pomp that they are great bhaktas. But what happens in their life, private lives? So that's what Bhagavad Gita calls it, Asuri Sampat, or nature of the form of demons, or demoniacal nature, which expresses itself as self-aggrandizement through greed, lust, and violence, and his devotional practices will be completely useless. So combating this demonical element is in an aspirant is the foundation on which the edifice of devotional life is to be built up, and this is done by wholehearted dedication of one's action and their fruits to the Lord. So, in simple terms, what we can say is, you have to walk your talk. You cannot preach something and act differently in life. Your actions should complement what you are preaching or what you are following. And so, when that is the most ideal, the most important thing in bhakti, as according to Bhagavata Dharma. It cannot be contradictory to one another. Because, like in life, that's what people ask this question, all right? Many a times people ask this question. I have a material life and I have a devotional life. I come to Amma and I do all these spiritual practices, but when I go back to the world, I have to do so many things which is contradictory to maybe to what Amma says or what is said in the scriptures. So that cannot be done. It has to, as I said, your material life should support the spiritual one. And this contradiction will only produce more and more conflict inside your mind and confusion in spiritual life. And that's what they are saying. So, when I met Amma for the first time, this was my biggest problem. As I was in the movie industry, when I saw my peers and my role models, what they talked through the movies was, high ideals, and that's what attracted me to them. And when I met them and started moving with them, and I saw their private lives, it was totally opposite to what they were talking or preaching through their movies. And it had no correlationship. So this is saying, that's why, I had a big dilemma. And I had two choices. One is act like them, behave like them, and become somebody, or get out of the industry. And what happened was, it was this dilemma also that prompted me to go and see Amma. And I had this question in my mind, but I did not ask Amma personally, because as I said earlier, that I did not have full faith in Amma at that time. And I thought that Amma was just a charlatan who's milking money from people. And so I did not have any that kind of a bhakti or devotion. But the third time when I went to see Amma, that's when I saw Amma licking the leper, Tatan. And that completely resolved my problem, because she was not even preaching. She was doing the action without any preaching, without any saying that, look, I am the great, I am doing this thing, I am doing that, and look how compassionate I am. As Amma ever said, I am so compassionate. She never said that. Or did Amma say I'm so loving? No, never she advertised. Come, I have so much love, or I have compassion. People just as Amma says, when a flower opens up and it has honey inside, the bees are attracted naturally. It doesn't have to advertise saying that honey, I have honey, so all bees, please come here. The bees will naturally come. So similarly, what happened was, you can see that Amma's actions, even today, does not contradict to what she teaches, what she tells us to do. And she, in fact, is every day, we can see that she's the first one to enact what she asks us to do. When, for example, for the Women's Empowerment Project, Amritashri, Amma wanted to distribute all these provisions, groceries to the women. Plus, she gave some money to each and every woman who came there. And when the groceries came, they came in like truckloads. And for the first one who was to sit and start packing them was Amma. And that, it was in the midst of like all the chilies, salt, and all these things, and the eyes were burning. The nose was watering like anything, flowing like Ganga. And in spite of all these things, it was so beautiful just to be with Amma, pack all those things, and send all these things to in another truck so that it can be distributed to other centers, different centers in the whole state of Kerala. They had about 15 or 18 centers where they distributed this. So Amma sat after bhajans, she would come and sit. Just imagine, after bhajans, she would come and sit and pack until like 2 o'clock in the morning. So she, as I said, she has never contradicted any of her actions from what she has so far, I wouldn't say preached, but what she has shown us, what she has taught us. So this is the most important thing in Bhakti Yoga. People don't understand it. As Amma says in his song, that Shakti Rupe. So she's saying that you go around the temple chanting God's name, and when you come out, you kick the beggar. So is that the right attitude? So, when these actions, that's why they're saying, if you have to dedicate the actions to God, it has to be pure. It has to be devotional. It has to be done with love. You cannot just do something wrong or do something harmful to others and say, oh, I'm dedicating it to God, so I can do anything what I want. Will you dedicate any action that is really bad to yourself and say that, I will take upon the karma, if we understand the depth of how much karma we incur? That is, it happened in the case of, sage Valmiki, Ratnakaran. That this was a question asked by the 7 sages, the Sapta Rishis, to Ratnakaran. The dacoit. And they told him, like, look, you are incurring so much karma by doing all these actions. Will you suffer all the karmas? He said, no, I'm taking all these things for my wife and children, so they will also share it. So then he said, go and ask your wife and children. So he went home and called Sweetie, I'm bringing you all these Rolex watches and, cars and all these things. Will you accept the karma that through which I had acquired illegally all these things? So the sweetie said, okay, bye-bye, it's your problem. Take care of it. And if you incur karma, it's your duty to bring it to me, so you just suffer or you enjoy it. Then he asked every child of his, and all of them said, Dad, it's your problem, you deal with it. And finally, that's when he realized. So he went back to the Saptarishis and said, now I understand. And that's when he started his spiritual discipline, just chanting mantras. So he's the Bhagavata Dharma, as they say, if all actions are to be dedicated to him, to God, one in whom Shraddha, that is true faith, has been generated, will be very particular to eliminate unethical action. So that will be automatically eliminated. For nothing corrupt and tainted should be offered to the Lord. So that is the most important thing. So another example, I'll tell you another example. Look how many people were smoking, how many people used to come drunk when they came to Amma. And slowly, Amma didn't tell any one of them to stop drinking or to stop smoking. But as the love for Amma grew in them, after meeting Amma, the bad vices slowly started dropping off automatically. They stopped drinking or they stopped smoking. I remember this group of about 20 Canadians from Quebec. And, I was standing by Amma when I was attracted by this whole group who came as a group to Amma to have darshan. First of all, people don't come as a group, right? So they come individually. But when they came as a group, I was curious. And what happened was they said to Amma that I was translating. That's why I was interested. They came to Amma and said to Amma, we have a special request. We all want to come as a group. So Amma smiled and said, okay, that's not a problem at all. So Amma, they all came in the very end. What happened was each one of them took a packet of cigarette out of their pocket and gave it to Amma and said, please help us to stop it. So Amma lovingly, that's the beauty. She even took the cigarette and kissed it. She didn't, think that it was cigarette, so I should not kiss it. She kissed it and she kept it aside. And so the next year, the very next year, I see this group. All of them came with a bag of money and told Amma, this is the money that we naturally would have spent smoking, and we want to give it to you. So you just imagine that the change, that's what they're saying, it should not be, whatever you offer to the Lord should not be corrupt or tainted. And for a man dominated by body sense, physical values are the most real of all categories. And mere ritualistic worship or mental adoration cannot give him the sense of realism which dedication of all actions can give. So just by doing different rituals, it cannot give him that kind of a dedication. That's what he's saying. So we have to have the factor of bhakti. And dana, daya, loving disposition, dana, material gift, and dhamma, that is self-control, are declared in the Upanishads as the keystone of the ethical discipline for asuras, men, and gods respectively. And why? Because in every person there are all these three nature. So to combat this asuric nature, a quantum of physical worship is required, and this consists in dedicated action, service of fellow men, charities, observance of vows, austerities, etc. So there is a story, right? You must have heard that, which Amma says. When the asuras, then the devas, the gods, and the men, human beings, Manushyas, went to Brahma asking for, seeking advice. So Brahma just uttered, he was in deep meditation, and then when he opened his eyes, he looked at all of them and uttered Da. And so the asuras, that is the demons, thought that Da stands for Daya, that is a loving disposition, which is to be compassionate. And Dana, that is the human beings thought it was Dana, that is to give. And Dhamma, the godly ones, that is the Devas, thought it was Dhamma, which was self-control. So each one of them took that Da sound according to the qualities in life, which are the bad qualities that they were practicing. So the demons were killing everybody, so that's why they thought, oh, we should have Daya. And then the human beings were being very selfish, so they said that's why it should be Dana, that is having to give gifts. And since the godly, that is the Devas, were indulging in sensual pleasures, they thought it must be Dhamma, which is self-control. So these three things are absolutely necessary. And it is only through long practice of dedicated action that devotional sentiment will take root. And there is no time limit fixed for this discipline. So long as a man has not developed dispassion for the objects of senses and begun to feel delight in divine contemplation, at least works of the nature of duty and service of fellow human beings must be performed. And in fact, according to the Gita, work of this purifying type should be kept throughout life. It's not just you are doing it one fine morning or once in a blue moon. It should be done throughout our life. So these are, as I said, these are the requirements for having that kind of a discipline for bhakti. And so the first one, it is called Sravana, or hearing. As we were talking about the 9 disciplines, Sravana or hearing is essentially listening to the talks on the excellences of God by holy men whose hearts are overflowing with divine love. And hearing in the true sense of the term thus becomes possible only in holy company. One of the examples, the stark example, is Parikshit himself, who attained salvation merely by hearing about the Lord from the great sage Shuka and the greatest of the Paramahamsas. So in fact, that's what they say, the holy company and potent Sravana or listening go together. That's why in all the texts, including Bhagavata, holy company is praised as the most important condition for the development of devotion. First, Shraddha, faith in a spiritual verity, is generated thereby, and man is induced to strive in this line. And when the words are supported by the life of the man speaking, then only they become potent and living. So that again, they're saying, the stressing, the preaching and the practice should go hand in hand. If you hear somebody preaching about these things and then you look at the other side of them, as we know, there is a lot of spiritual business nowadays. And people can speak so well, so nicely, and they will give great speeches, flowery speeches, highly intellectual speeches, but if you see their actions, it does not support their ideals. So that is why they're saying it should go hand in hand. And holy company of the highest order, they say, is very difficult to get. So what man could ordinarily do is to hear scriptures, which is nowadays read scriptures, and interpreted and expounded by competent persons. And the Bhagavata says that Lord Krishna is present in the Bhagavata. And that he enters into the hearts of those who hear it through the ear. In modern times, hearing can also be taken as including reading also. And the second one we saw that was Kirtana. Kirtana means the loud singing and chanting of the Lord's names and the compositions on his deeds and excellences, especially in the company of several devotees. So the aid of music and musical instruments and of some form of rhythmic dance is sought to enhance the effect of Kirtana. And Kirtana, that is, nowadays they say Kirtan, but that is not the real Kirtana. Means the singing the praises or chanting the praises of the Lord's names. And Kirtana has been very widely used by teachers of devotion as devotional exercise and also a means of devotional propaganda. And so what happens, the discipline of Kirtana may include all forms of devotional chantings like chanting the Sahasranama, the Stotras, which is the praises and the hymns, and other similar practices. The one common virtue of Kirtana in all its form is that for men to whom inward concentration is difficult and the outward going tendencies of the mind are strong, it forms a very effective discipline in producing a devotional mood in the mind. So, one of the things which we have to here understand is, as I said, the kirtan, what we sing is, and the bhajans is, there are two different things. One is when we sing the kirtan, one of the problem is that it is not in a very spiritual mood that it is created. And secondly, it is sung by an individual and some of the followers who feel that I am a great singer or I am doing this because the other reason is also to get some money, make some money, so which is the other motive. So that is not the ideal kirtan. And the second one is, as I said, chanting. When you chant, you don't expect anything. You don't even expect that you are a great singer. You're just chanting for Amma and you just sing with all your heart. Of course, some people may run away if you don't do it properly. So what? But, one of the brahmacharis was saying that in his talk yesterday, after they were singing so badly, and they knew that they were singing so badly, and the songs were so, they were singing bhajans to Amma during Devi Bhava, and that was the only time they sang. So he was singing so badly that they did not want to go and ask Amma how the bhajans were, because both them as well as Amma knew that they were singing so badly. So they didn't want to. But when one of the brahmacharis jumped up and asked Amma, how was our bhajans? Amma said, the bhava, that your attitude and, the meaning the rasa, that is what is the mood? What is the right word is mood. The mood which you sang was very good. I like that. So that is really that you can see that kirtana. And one of the things, that doesn't mean that you should always sing out of sruti or out of tune and sing out of rhythm. You have to follow certain rules of music also, but then that makes it easier for other people to listen and to chant along with you. So that you should follow those musical rules as well as have bhakti bhava when you sing the kirtan, that is bhajans. And as I said, the other kirtan, that is kirtan means to praising. praising the Lord is one thing that most of us are very familiar about. Talking about our experiences with Amma, right? And we sit together, and when we talk about our experiences with Amma, we see that time passes so quickly. And we would not, it's not about you or him or the other person, it's about Amma and the experiences that we have had with Amma. And when we hear that, the person who says that as well as the listener also benefits, and they are in a blissful mood. And I've seen, in my earlier days when I used to spend times with a little bit smaller satsangs, we used to have such congregation, and late at night after the program. And we used to go till like 5 o'clock in the morning, just like Devi Bhava. And each one of us would share our experiences with Amma. And at the end of our sharing, the whole thing was over. Nobody wanted to go to sleep because they were so full of Shakti, energy, without drinking chai or coffee. So I say that is the power, the effect of Kirtanam. That is singing the praises of the Lord, especially when you do it with so much of love and dedication. That gives us not only, first of all, one of the things that also I've noticed is when we hear these things, the experience of other persons, we have more faith in Amma. It develops more faith. And many people who did not, it's so, look at this. It's, so contradictory, because we should have absolute faith in Amma. But we don't. That's the truth. And when we listen to these, so that is what the first quality was we were saying about Shraddha. When we listen to these stories, we develop more Shraddha, more faith in Amma. So that is the beautiful effect of Kirtana, which, actually enhances our Shraddha, our faith. And we should have that kind, many a times people ask me these things. And they take my word about Amma. Amma doesn't need any of our words. She is who she is, the Supreme Consciousness. And she's not going to change tomorrow or day after tomorrow or for eternity. So, but why should I vouch for Amma, saying that she's Supreme Consciousness? It's so stupid, right? But that's what happens many a times. I'm vouching for Amma and people say, oh yes, now I understand. So anyway, it helps, it aids people in their path, and as long as it helps them to move forward in their path, have Shraddha, have devotion, have love to Amma, it is really effective. And understand that I'm not belittling that fact that people don't have faith, but I'm just saying that this gives them more and more faith and courage to be with Amma and to listen to what Amma says and to enact her advice in our lives. So this is the second one, that is Sravana is the second one, the quality that is needed for bhakti. So as we see, all these qualities has been enumerated in the scriptures as well as in the Upanishads and in the Vedas. And it's not different. They are not different from what the Bhagavata says it's dharma, the duty of a bhakta or a devotee. So we need to have these qualities in order to have bhakti. So it's not two, it's not different, it's the same. And as we move forward with these qualities, then definitely we will reach the goal. So let's pray to Amma to give us that kind of a Shraddha and the capacity. And also, as they said, it's very rare to listen to these stories and to be with a holy person like Amma. And it is one of the rarest and the most precious gifts that has been given to us. So let's utilize that time that we have with Amma and listen to all the stories, and also be in the company of other devotees. We cannot be with Amma all the time, but the company of the devotees will enhance our love and our Shraddha, our faith in Amma. Om Amriteshwariya Namah.
सकलागम संस्तुते मतिमोहन विग्रहे मुनिमानस शोभने ललिते जगदाश्रये
सकलागम संस्तुते मतिमोहन विग्रहे मुनिमानस शोभने ललिते जगदाश्रये
सकलागम संस्तुते मतिमोहन विग्रहे मुनिमानस शोभने ललिते जगदाश्रये
सकलागम संस्तुते शोभने ललिते जगदाश्रये
अमृतेश्वरी 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 जगदाश्रये
सुरवन्द्यपदाम्बुजे सनकादिसुसेव्यते
सुरवन्द्यपदाम्बुजे सनकादिसुसेव्यते
सुरवन्द्यपदाम्बुजे सनकादिसुसेव्यते
सुरवन्द्यपदाम्बुजे सनकादिसुसेव्यते
महिते ममदापहे ललिते जगदाश्रये
महिते ममतापहे ललिते जगदाश्रये
महिते ममदापहे ललिते जगदाश्रये
महिते ममतापहे ललिते जगदाश्रये
अमृतेश्वरी जगदाश्रये
अमृतेश्वरी जगदाश्रये
अमृतेश्वरी जगदाश्रये
अमृतेश्वरी जगदाश्रये
अमृतेश्वरी जगदाश्रये
अमृतेश्वरी जगदाश्रये
दुरितामय भञ्जगे प्रणवाम्बुधि संस्कृते
दुरितामय भञ्जगे प्रणवाम्बुधि संस्कृते
दुरितामय भञ्जगे प्रणवाम्बुधि संस्कृते
दुरितामय भञ्जगे प्रणवाम्बुधि संस्कृते
सुखदे सुरनायिके ललिते जगदाश्रये
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 अमृतेश्वरी 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 जगदाश्रये
गणनायक सिद्धिविनायक मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी मंगलमूर्ति स्वामी
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 गणाधीशतु गुणाधीशतु वरद विनायक नमो नमः
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 हे गिरिजात्मज बुद्धिप्रदायक विघ्नेश्वर जय संगडनाशक
गिरिजात्मज बुद्धिप्रदायक विघ्नेश्वर जय संकटनाशक
सुख करता तू दुख हरता तू
करता तू दुख हरता तू
विश्व विनायक नमो नमः सुख करता तू
दुख हरता तू विश्व विनायक नमो नमः
गणाधीशतु गुणाधीशतु वरद 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 विनायक नमो नमः
हे चिन्तामणि शुभ फलदायक बल्ला मृणालेश्वर जय विश्वेश्वर
चिन्तामणि शुभफलदायक मृणालेश्वर जय विश्वेश्वर
लंबोदर तू सर्वेश्वर तू
लंबोदर तू सर्वेश्वर तू
सन्मतिदायक नमो नमः
लंबोदर तू सर्वेश्वर तू सन्मतिदायक नमो नमः
गणाधीश तू गुणाधीश तू वरद विनायक 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 नमो नमः
हे महागणपति पाप विनाशक गणेश्वर जय विघ्न विनाशक
हे महागणपति पाप विनाशक गणेश्वर जय विघ्न विनाशक
मयूरेश्वर तू परमेश्वर तू
मयूरेश्वर तू परमेश्वर तू
अष्टविनायक नमो नमः
मयूरेश्वर तू परमेश्वर तू अष्टविनायक नमो नमः
गणाधीश तू गुणाधीश तू वरद विनायक 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 नमो नमः
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 कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे
कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे
कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे
कृष्ण 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 मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविन्द नारायण हरे
अच्युतानन्द गोविन्द माधव सच्चिदानन्द 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 नारायण हरे
कृष्ण वासुदेव 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 हरे
गरुडगमना कंसारे मधुसूदना
गरुडगमना कंसारे मधुसूदना
गरुडगमना कंसारे मधुसूदना
गरुडगमना कंसारे मधुसूदना
मदन गोपाल नारायण हरे
मदन गोपाल नारायण हरे
मुरली कृष्ण मुरारे मनमोहना
मुरली कृष्ण मुरारे मनमोहना
मुरली कृष्ण मुरारे मनमोहना
मुरली कृष्ण मुरारे मनमोहना
नंद नंदन नारायण हरे
नंद नंदन नारायण हरे
कृष्ण वासुदेव 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 हरे
राम राम नरसिंह पुरुषोत्तम
राम राम नरसिंह पुरुषोत्तम
राघव राम नारायण हरे
राघव राम नारायण हरे
रावणारे कोदंड राम रघुवरा
रावणारे कोदंड राम रघुवरा
राक्षसांतक नारायण हरे
राक्षसांतक नारायण हरे
पद्मनाभ परमेश सनातना
पद्मनाभ परमेश सनातना
परम पुरुष नारायण हरे
परम पुरुष नारायण हरे
पांडुरंगा विठ्ठल पुरंदरा
पांडुरंगा विठ्ठल पुरंदरा
पुंडरीकाक्ष नारायण हरे
पुंडरीकाक्ष नारायण हरे
कृष्ण वासुदेव 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 हरे
श्रीनिवास अनिरुद्ध धरणीधरा
श्रीनिवास अनिरुद्ध धरणीधरा
अप्रमेयात्म नारायण हरे
अप्रमेयात्म नारायण हरे
दीनबन्धो भगवन्त दयानिधे
दीनबन्धो भगवन्त दयानिधे
देवगीतनय नारायण हरे
देवगीतनय नारायण हरे
कृष्ण वासुदेव 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 हरे
नारायण 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 नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण लक्ष्मी नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण लक्ष्मी नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण लक्ष्मी नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नमो 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 नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण लक्ष्मी 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 नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
कृष्ण वासुदेव हरे कृष्ण वासुदेव हरे जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
अम्बे माता दुर्गे माता
अम्बे माता दुर्गे माता
अम्बे माता दुर्गे माता तुम करुणा की मूर्ति दास की सुन ले विनती
तुम करुणा की मूर्ति दास की सुन ले विनती
तुम करुणा की मूर्ति दास की सुन ले विनती
तुम करुणा की मूर्ति दास की सुन ले विनती
संसारों से दे मां मुक्ति जन्म कलक लक्ष्य कर दे पूर्ति
संसारों से दे मां मुक्ति जन्म का लक्ष्य कर दे पूर्ति
संसारों से दे मां मुक्ति जन्म का लक्ष्य कर दे पूर्ति
संसारों से दे मां मुक्ति जन्म का लक्ष्य कर दे पूर्ति
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
अम्बे माता दुर्गे माता
अम्बे
चिंता दूर कर दे भाव भक्ति का दिल में भर दे
दुखों की चिंता दूर कर दे भाव भक्ति का दिल में भर दे
दुखों की चिंता दूर कर दे भाव भक्ति में दिल में भर दे
दुखों की चिंता दूर कर दे भाव भक्ति का दिल में भर दे
तव चरणों में करूँ मैं अर्पण तेरे लिए माहे जीवन
तव चरणों में करूँ मैं अर्पण तेरे लिए माहे जीवन
तव चरणों में करूँ मैं अर्पण तेरे लिए माहे जीवन
तव चरणों में करूँ मैं अर्पण तेरे लिए माहे जीवन
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता जय कल्याणी जय भवानी देवी दुर्गे माता
अम्बे माता दुर्गे माता अमृतेश्वरी मङ्गलम् प्रणमदा मुक्तिप्रदे मङ्गलम् भुवनेश्वरी मङ्गलम् सुकृतिना एकाश्रये मङ्गलम् अमृतेश्वरी मङ्गलम् प्रणमदा मुक्तिप्रदे मङ्गलम् भुवनेश्वरी मङ्गलम् सुकृतिना एकाश्रये मङ्गलम् हृदयेश्वरी मङ्गलम् हृदयसद्वेजोमयी मङ्गलम् मृदुभाषी मङ्गलम् विजयतां प्रेमाकृते मङ्गलम् विजयतां प्रेमाकृते मङ्गलम् विजयतां प्रेमाकृते मंगलहारी माता भवानी अमृतानंदमयी माता अमृतानंदमयी माता जय बोलो सद्गुरु माता अमृतानंदमयी देवी की जय।